It's all well and good to point out what we already know or think we know about immigration, because I do believe that most people are not aware of the extent of the invasion that the European continent and the UK are facing from migrants. As I said previously, 11,000 people arriving on boats in Lampedusa within a week is not the crisis, it is simply the start. And every time one of them makes them to mainland EU, thousands more set off. This could not just be potentially, or will not be potentially, thousands or tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. It will be millions unless we stop it now. With all the best intention in the world, it is not possible to refuse to say no any longer, because the whole of Europe is bursting at the seams, and the infrastructure throughout the whole of Europe, or at least Western Europe, is struggling, to say the least. I disagree with unprocessed migrants being free to wander around in our communities. We don't know who they are, where they've come from. We know nothing about them, and yet they are free to wander around, placing your safety, our children's safety at risk. The Rwanda plan was just a joke, really a waste of money. I think it was literally just a political trophy to misdirect us that they were going to do something. Why do we need Rwanda? There are over 6,000 islands around the UK, 189 I believe, large enough to be inhabited full time. I believe that processing centres should be built offshore within the UK, and nobody should be allowed to set foot on the mainland until they have been processed. Keeping in mind that the vast majority are not genuine asylum seekers, and of those who are, they have all contravened the Dublin Agreement, which means they should have applied for asylum in the first country that they reached. As for the rest, as I said, entering the UK illegally is a crime, punishable by up to 4 years in prison. All those deemed to not be genuine asylum seekers should go to prison here in the UK, and we should make the world aware of it. Why we have politicians who pander to other countries in an effort to win their approval, I don't know why. Nobody tells us what we do. We're not the largest nation in the world, but we are unique, and we're the UK, and nobody should tell us what to do. As for the ECHR, if it were down to me, I would leave tonight. An organisation that began with the best intentions, maybe that was just another smokescreen with an intention of becoming yet another political Trojan horse. I'll never know, but we cannot allow our political system to be gridlocked by the ECHR any further. We cannot be held to ransom by human rights lawyers any further. It should be our courts, our government, our people who decide who comes here and who leaves. And the only way that we are going to force their hand is to literally to take away their majority in the House of Commons. To win a new party, very unlikely. Our political system is set up for those two parties. However, it doesn't take much to deny them a majority. It takes people like you who are watching this right now to stand up and fight in your constituency at the next election. We only need a handful of people to win independent seats to deny the government their majority in the House of Commons, and the government will then be neutered, and they will have no choice but to listen to the people. There's no point protesting, that's if we're allowed to. There's no point speaking up, because you have to be so careful. My last immigration video was taken down this morning, and I have an awful fight with TikTok to get it reinstated. It's still on YouTube for the moment, but some of my future videos I will probably upload them somewhere and post a link so that you can download them, because I refuse to be silenced. And as for those of you, a mere handful, who appear in the comments with no picture, and I hear something along the lines of, well, where did your parents come from? Didn't they move here? Yes, they did. And I love the UK. And this is not about race. This is about the fact that at some point, like it or not, for all the best intention in the world, we need to say no. Because we cannot have our citizens homeless, our citizens going without medical attention, our citizens struggling to be educated correctly, our citizens struggling in every way, shape or form, while people arrogantly, blatantly land on our shores and post themselves on TikTok in hotel rooms with a smug look on their face because you and I are paying for it. Don't worry about the political classes, because these perverted, dysfunctional, small, woke warriors are a tiny minority. It is by virtue of the fact that most of them seem to be in politics, in the media, in the key positions, that they can impress an illusion upon us all that their opinion is ubiquitous and everybody else is wrong. No, you and I are right and they are wrong. Perversion is perversion. Right is right and wrong is wrong. It is not we who should fear them. It is they who should fear the majority. And we are and will continue to be the majority. The world has slipped into hedonism in the past, and it has always recovered, but it only recovers when people stand up and say enough and put their foot down. And for that to happen, it needs all of you en masse to stand up and to prevent yourselves from being divided along political lines. Any of you in marginal seats must not vote for either of these parties because they are arrogant. Rishi Sunak today tried to be the saviour of the net zero threat. He has literally shafted this country left, right and centre. And he knows that he doesn't stand a chance to win the next election, but more importantly for him, he is a member of the party of 1,000 traitors, and there is word of a mutiny brewing quite quickly, and unless something changes quickly, he'll be out in the same manner that he instigated the removal of Boris Johnson. So it's down to you and I to stand up and to speak up and not allow this madness to continue any longer. And we must say no. It's not even an option to allow this to continue, because our very way of life is under threat. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye bye for now.